Hi there, I'm here in my backyard and it's not really as cold as it looks. We're getting something that we call Chinooks, which is a warm wind that has brought our temperature up 20 or more degrees. And so I can talk to you from outdoors and we can enjoy the view. Last time, in talking about the issue of control, we touched on the concept of authority, and these are very closely related concepts. I'd like to make some comments further on what authority is and how it relates to control in our lives. I suggested or asserted it last time that the way for us to actually have control of our own lives is to relinquish control, or to give control over to God and the Lord Jesus Christ. How does that work? Well, we have an example from the Gospels where a man came to Jesus seeking healing, seeking help for a servant of his who was ill. And he said to Jesus, you don't even need to come to my house. It happened that the man was a centurion, an officer in the Roman army, and he understood authority. He said, you don't even have to come to my house, because all you have to do is say the word and it will be done. He had an understanding of authority, and he was willing to place himself under the authority not only of the Roman emperor as an officer in the army, but under the authority of Jesus, and said, you're the one who can say the word and have healing and have power over what it is I need help with. Well, the reason that Jesus commends this man is because of his great faith, because he understood something from his experience in the army. He said to Jesus, I too am a man under authority, which is very interesting because his very next words are, I say to this man, go, and he goes, and come, and he comes. He talked about the fact that he was under authority, and then gave an example of being in authority and exercising authority. This is exactly what we need to do when we come to Jesus, when we experience a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, is to come under his authority and then take authority in our lives over the things that he has given us responsibility for to manage and be stewards of. Another related issue here is that Jesus is talking to a man who also understands figurative language. Authority that he described in the Roman army as being under authority and therefore being able to give orders and take control is the same authority that he pictured Jesus having in the spiritual realm and over the forces of evil. This ability to see that language is being used figuratively and to draw these parallels and make analogies is huge, and it's one of my favorite topics. So that's what we'll pick up next time when I talk about figurative language and how to understand spiritual things through metaphor, through symbolism, and this kind of language that gives us access to spiritual reality. I look forward to that.